Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So, an attorney for the Republican National Committee admitted to the Supreme Court that the RNC's goal is to suppress votes because Republicans can't win fair and square. No, I'm not kidding. Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett asked one of their attorneys a question because they're trying to fight right now. The Republicans have launched this massive offensive trying to suppress votes throughout the country. They're framing it as trying to protect voting rights and trying to protect the country from illegal voting and from voter fraud. But it's a bunch of BS. So they were before the Supreme Court, and the attorney was asked a question regarding ballots that are cast in the wrong precinct. So some people go and, I guess, cast their ballots in the wrong precinct or turn in their ballots in the wrong precinct. Currently, those ballots are discarded and they're not counted. And the Republicans are trying to keep it that way. But here's what went down. Amy Coney Barrett asked him, quote, "What's the interest of the Arizona RNC here in keeping, say, the out-of-precinct ballot disqualification rules on the books?" To which he replied, quote, "Because it puts us at a competitive disadvantage relative to Democrats. Politics is a zero-sum game." Then he went on and continued, or tried to continue, by saying, quote, "It's the difference between winning an election 50 to 49 and," but that's where Coney Barrett cut him off. And presumably because she even realized that he was saying the quiet part out loud and he probably needed to be saved. Again, this is not news to anybody who's paying attention or anyone who's logical and honest and people on the left. Sadly, we all know just in the first month of this year, Republicans submitted more than 100 bills that they claim were about protecting elections from voter fraud, when they are absolutely anything but. The vast majority are about suppressing the vote. They know that when the left turns out in full force, there are more registered Democrats and there are more left-leaning independents than there are Republicans. It's just a fact. It's called math. And they know that their archaic, repressive, anti-minority, anti-female policies make their candidates unelectable in most places in the nation. There's few places left in this country where that kind of stuff is okay or where people just aren't paying attention. So the only possible way for them to win the presidency is to keep the, number one, the outdated electoral college. They need that. They can't win without it. If they had to go by the popular vote, they would never win an election ever again. And they need to prevent as many people as possible from voting, particularly people of color. And that's not to say, oh, all people of color are the same, they all vote Democrat. No, but by and large, people of color see their racist BS. They see people in the Republican Party, leaders in the Republican Party, going and attending white supremacist events like what happened last week. But instead of maybe changing the way they do things, trying to make their party more inclusive of women and people of color and the LGBTQ community, or trying to drive out the white supremacists and bigots from their party, they choose to embrace these people. They choose to embrace the white nationalist fringe. And they would prefer to just suppress the votes of other people, of people who don't agree with them. Now, why do you suppose that is? Could it be because that's who they really are and that's what they stand for? I'll let you decide. Anybody who's still registered as a Republican, if you don't see the party for what it is and you're a good person, because I know there are good people who are still registered Republicans who still vote Republican, believe it or not. I have friends, I have family. They're intelligent, they're good people, they're not racist, but they don't pay attention. They're just not paying attention. Or what they are paying attention to is Fox News that lies to them constantly and never shows them the reality of what's going on in the party. The QAnon lunacy, the racist BS. You know, if you're still hanging on to that party and you don't get what I'm talking about, you gotta widen your circle because you're in the wrong party. It's not the party for you. All right, guys, as always, like, share, and subscribe, please. And thank you so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I will talk with you soon.